How does this play out at USC? What's at stake here in the early going for Steve Sarkisian?
I think his job is at stake. Look, there had been rumblings, inside USC and around USC for a little while about Steve Sarkisian's off-field behavior, and those were kind of left, under the radar for a while. Well, that became news, and college football national news, when Steve Sarkisian, at really the USC's outside of a game most public or important event, which is this salute to Troy, where all the players' families and a lot of the powerful boosters and basically the USC families there. It's 2,000 people, and he shows up, and he's kind of a mess. It does not reflect well on him, and I think when Pat Hayden has to pull him off the stage, and other players have to account for him and have to explain questions about why your head coach was a mess, it's a really thorny issue going forward. His press conference on Tuesday, where he fielded some questions, he talked about how he doesn't think he has a drinking problem yet. They're going to put him in some form of rehab, but realistically, what kind of really treatment program can a head football coach at a major university undergo on the eve of the season? I mean, it's just those two things, time-wise, focus-wise, would seem to be at odds. And so I think when you're looking at Steve Sarkisian, who quite honestly, a lot of people around USC really like, but I think that the challenge going forward is, can he get himself right? I mean, I think we're not only talking about like a zero tolerance policy on some of the on the conduct side of it, but just, can he do this while in the middle of a pressure situation of trying to lead a team that quite frankly was picked to win the Pac-12, and a lot of people think is a playoff team. And so there's very little margin for error there. USC has a really loaded schedule. I mean, they definitely have talent, and I think from being around the program the last few years, I think they have really good leadership in the locker room, starting with Cody Kessler. A lot of these guys have dealt with a lot of distractions at USC, probably more than any other top 25 program in the last few years, going back to the Lane Kiffin circus and everything that went on with his departure and going forward. But coming back to Steve Sarkisian, I just think you saw a guy the other day who looked really beaten down, and I think they're just trying to find their way in this, and doing that on the stage in USC is not going to be an easy thing.